Alright, this is a little late in the day for me to finally do this, but once again, for like the 6th year in a row, my Super Bowl prediction at the beginning of the playoffs has been incorrect, to the point where for the 2nd year in a row, I got both teams incorrect. So because of that, it's now time for me to do an update for my Super Bowl 56 predictions. So of course, who is playing? Well, representing the NFC is the Rams. One of my Super Bowl picks at the beginning of the year, if they showed up how they were supposed to be. Unfortunately, they really did not play as good as they did last year. Thank God for Stafford saving them. They improved to 12-5. They made the playoffs for the 2nd year in a row, and they won the NFC West for the first time since 2018. And what did they do in the playoffs? Well, I predict them to go one and done against the Cardinals. Not only did they win, they crushed them. Then they, at first, were crushing the Buccaneers 27-3. But then the Buccaneers, of course, as always, with Brady, tied it up with just a minute left. And like we're going to have like a 28-3 meltdown again. But nope, the Rams, when it mattered the most, Stafford showed up, drove them downfield in just 2 plays, and they won the game-winning field goal 30-27. Make it to the conference championship for the first time since 2018, where they would host the 49ers, a team they have not beaten in like 3 years, and beat them twice in the year, especially when the Rams had a 17-0 lead on them, and the 49ers needed to win to get into the playoffs after the 49ers upset the Cowboys and Packers. And at first, it looked like it was going to be the 49ers continuing it, as they were up 17-0 at one point. But the Rams eventually pulled through, held it together, and managed to make the comeback to win it 20-17 and are in the Super Bowl for the first time since 2018. This is their 5th time in the Super Bowl as well. 1979, 1999, 2001, 2018, now 2021. Now, their opponent is the AFC champion, the Bengals. Wow, wouldn't expect this to happen. I thought the Bengals were going to do good this year. I thought they were going to get like 7 wins at max, because they still have a lot of things going against them still. But I thought they were going to improve, but I didn't expect this. I didn't expect the Ravens, Steelers, and Browns to collapse as badly as they did this year. And because of that, the Bengals were able to sneak by and go from worst to first, clinch a playoff spot, and win in the AFC North for the first time since 2015. And then in the wild card, they hosted the Raiders, and they won it 26-19 to finally get their first playoff win since 1990. And then in the divisional round, they almost choked it, but they held on a last-second field goal to beat the number 1 seed Titans 19-16 to make it to the AFC Championship for the first time since 1988. And then they would visit the Chiefs in the AFC Championship, and the Chiefs at first destroyed them. And the Bengals were down 21-3, and I thought they were pretty much done for. Like, this Cinderella run is over with. But no, they came back and fought. The defense of the Bengals showed up when they needed to. It made Mahomes look terrible, straight up terrible in the second half. And the Bengals would end up winning it in overtime, 27-24, to go to the Super Bowl for the first time since 1988. Just avoiding, of course, a three-peat against the 49ers, because remember, the Bengals' last 2 Super Bowls were only against the 49ers, and we almost had that. That would have been funny as hell. So, I guess maybe one thing, the Bengals are happy they don't have to place the 49ers. Although, remember, they did play them early in the year, and it was, I think, a close overtime game, was it? Or was it a close one? Whereas the Rams, you don't know what to expect with them. So, here we go, the Rams and the Bengals. Now, of course, technically, let me be a downer in this one. The Rams, although they're hosting the Super Bowl, they're technically the away team. The AFC team is the home team this year. So the Rams are the away team in this game, but this is the 2nd consecutive year that a team is hosting the Super Bowl. So on the one hand, it's not as special because it already happened and the Buccaneers were the home team last year. But another way, since COVID is not going to limit fans this time, maybe the Rams might have an actual home field advantage like the Buccaneers didn't quite have last year. So that'll be interesting to see. So now, normally when I do my Super Bowl predictions, I go by each team's offense against their defense. But I really don't know what to say about them because the way they've played in the playoffs is like really confusing. Because the Rams' offense is better. But the Bengals defense, even though it's not as good, they've done a really good job in the playoffs. Let's see, they limited the Raiders to 19 points. They limited the Titans to 16 points. And they limited one of the best offenses in the league, the Chiefs, to 24 points. And they made Mahomes look terrible in the second half. Just terrible. And Matthews and the Rams, I would say you're better, but I don't know what to say because the Bengals defense is doing something good right now to make it this far. So I can't really say you have necessarily an edge against them. And then the Rams defense, I think, has a problem against the Bengals offense. Like, both teams are pretty much offensive. The Rams' #1 defense last year was nothing like it was this year. And the Bengals defense, not as good, but they're showing up in the playoffs when they need to. They really have showed up really big time. So on the one hand, you would think, look at those stats. Maybe the Bengals have the edge. But at the same time, we can't discount the fact that all their wins, remember, were close. 7 points to the Raiders, 3 points to the Titans, 3 points to the Chiefs. Both of them on interceptions too, remember, for the game-winning field goals. That's not quite as convincing as it should be. The Rams, although they did crush the Cardinals, thankfully, and then they crushed the Buccaneers, but remember, they almost choked against the Buccaneers. The Rams are lucky to even make it to the NFC Championship, and then they almost choked it against the 49ers again. So, like, it's really difficult to say who would get this. It's going to be tough. Alright, so I've been sitting here thinking about over the last few minutes about who I think will win. And this is a tough one, and I'm not fully convinced on it. But maybe in an upset, I think I might pick the Bengals just to edge it out. Like, it's really, really tough, because they've really convinced me still in the games they played in the playoffs this year, especially their defense. I could see them maybe put up a hard-fought effort in playing the smackdown maybe against Stafford, but I also could see the Rams defense doing the same thing to Burrow. So, yeah, this is a tough one, but I think with the momentum on their side right now, I think I might just edge out the Bengals. And, of course, my Super Bowl predictions, since I started this in 2015, I'm 3-3. I was correct in 2016 to the point where I got the score correctly and possibly in overtime, like I said, which happened. I was correct in 2018 and 2019, but I was incorrect in 2015, 17, and 20. So, something's got to give eventually. Maybe I can get over 500, or maybe I'll be under 500. But regardless of what happens, it's going to come down to this. Will it be the Rams clinching their first Super Bowl since 1999, and their fourth title overall, because 1945, 1951, 1999, or was it? I keep thinking like they have their title in 19. No, that's the Redskins ahead in 37. So they're trying to get their fourth title overall and the first one since 1999, or will it be the Bengals clinching their very first title in their 53-year history? There's I believe, somewhere between 4 to 6 teams left in the NFL that do not have a title. The Bengals, Jaguars, Panthers, Texans, Falcons. If I said Bengals, the Bengals. And I feel like I'm missing one more off the top of my head. So, cannot wait to see this. It will be interesting to see. So good luck to the Rams and Bengals, because you two are going to need it. And I cannot wait for Super Bowl 56.